Oh, Cynthia, how are you?
Yeah, son knows McKen died, so.
Was there any good complaint?
Oh, no. Oh, I didn't look at it. Okay.
Huh? Oh, hold on. On it.
You need a pen?
Truly. I signed one or two, so I'm here.
Well, I tried.
Cameron, too glad.
Okay.
Got a big badass electric one.
Snow removal. Yeah.
Anyone got a stray motion?
The what?
Nope. Don't look like it.
Oh, sorry, I'm on.
You're probably slacking off already. After all this time, practicing, making all the effort, and already I'm kind of still falling.
All right, we'll call this meeting to order, please. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? None? Please remember that the meetings are now live streamed, so the camera's up there on the back corner, so if you're curious about it. But anyway, we're on camera. Public hearings, there's one, and Paula, would you speak to that, please?
So under section 52 of the Planning Act, public hearing is being held for the purpose of receiving comments on consent application B -0216. The applicant is Brant Bourgeau, and the purpose of the consent application is that it's a technical severance to sever 2 acres from 897 Second Avenue and consolidate with the adjacent property 931 Second Avenue. The property 897 Second has a dual zoning. It's rural, zoned rural, and it's zoned R1, which is residential first density. The portion that's being severed is zoned as rural. And this is an opportunity for the anybody from the public who wants to comment on the application or council.
Any questions or comments?
The portion that's being severed is rural,
That's
and it's gonna be adjoining to the other portion. So will it become all R1?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't change the zoning, so that.
Even though you make it one title?
That's right, so properties can have 2 zones. It doesn't change. In order to change the zoning, it would be a separate application, but it's not required in this situation.
Anyone else have any comments to make? All right. Is there any delegations at this point in time? None. Question period. None. Part one consent agenda.
So, part 1 consent agenda. Items be it resolved, or moved by Councillor Stuart Mithal, second by Councillor Bill Foster. Be it resolved that items A1 to F5 inclusive contained in part 1 consent agenda be adopted.
Under the A section, any questions or comments? section. Questions or comments? Under the F section, any questions or comments? Councilor Bill.
Under the building services there, I'm assuming that in January, we're gonna get a yearly summary. The report that had the part with the graph and looks like year-to-date summary was quite nice. I'd like to, when they provide the yearly summary there, could we also include a category called cost of building services? Just so that we know what the construction value is, what the fees are we're collecting, and what it's costing us there, okay? And I don't know if you can do that yet. You were collecting some data to separate how much how many hours the building services were working on other things, so we could at least categorize what it costs us. For example, in 2016, we've had revenue of $131,392 to the end of November.
Yes.
How much money did we actually spend? Because we can turn around and recover full cost, so I'd like to know how close we are to recovering full cost. And we can do that when we do the year-end summary there, which we'll probably see sometime in February, I would think.
Your worship. Anyone else?
I just wanted to clarify what Bill was asking there, and I'm not on that committee anymore, I'm on with you. Are you looking for a breakdown, like a total for the year of
Yeah, just
wages?
for the total.
Okay, just a total for the year with
Yeah.
wages and not for each building
No,
permit? Okay.
right.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe they understood that, but I wanted to be
Yeah.
clear.
It's just a total, we provided a total amount of
That's
money
right.
that we recovered.
Total revenue for
fees,
that long?
And
Right.
how much money did we actually
Yeah.
incur, and what were our costs?
To incur, okay.
We've all heard the motion. All in favor? Carried.
Okay. Part 2, regular agenda. Item G1, moved by Councillor Ken Dupuis, second by Councillor Ron Dupuis. Be it resolved that consent application B-02/16 be granted with the following condition. 1, 3 copies of the SR plan be deposited with the town, and 2, severed parcel be consolidated with 931 Second Avenue, legally known as Merritt Concession 5, Part Lot 10, SR 53R14107, Part 2, Parcel 30172.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Carried.
Item G2, moved by Councillor Ron Dupuis, second by Councillor Bob Yocum. Be it resolved that bylaw number 2760/17 be adopted, being a bylaw to provide for an interim tax levy and payments of interim taxes for the year 2017.
Questions or comments? Go ahead, Ron.
This is just allowing us to collect taxes to allow us to operate until we go into the new budget, if I'm not mistaken, Your Worship.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Carried.
Item G3, moved by Councillor Bill Foster, second by Councillor Ron Dupuis. Be it resolved that Council approve the evacuation agreement between the Corporation of the Town of Espanola and the One Stop Daycare for the purpose of allowing the daycare to evacuate from their current facility to the Espanola Regional Recreation Complex when necessary due to threat, and the bylaw be prepared to execute that agreement.
Questions or comments? Councilor Stewart.
Why are we specifically singling out this particular group? Why don't we have kind of like a broad statement for anybody who has to evacuate because of threats, go to a safe haven like the complex?
Well, in the town's emergency management plan, that's identified, but each of these organizations' requirements of their larger umbrella is to have these individual agreements with the town.
So are we gonna see more and more of these?
Well, there's only a handful of daycares in town, so most
I'm
likely.
going beyond the daycares though, like there's other seniors homes or
So in
other,
emergency of that nature,
yeah,
we're going to, in the master plan, there's going to be allowances for the malls or the high school or churches
Right.
or what have you. But that's forthcoming.
so should we not just have one all-encompassing motion that grants any facility that has an accumulation of people during an emergency, they can go to the complex?
We could, however, each of these organizations need
Okay.
their own agreement with the town, so that's why they're
That's,
coming here.
this is just a housekeeping issue,
Yeah.
that for one, okay.
I mean, our CMO could sign these. Like,
Yeah.
Mike Core could sign them on his own because it's an agreement for emergency management. But the organizations require a formal agreement.
Okay.
Did they have any prior to this?
Nothing formal.
Nothing, this is the first time, so it's something new?
These are
For them?
agreements that haven't been in place before.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Anyone else? All in favor? Carried.
Okay, so item G4, moved by Councillor Bill Foster, second by Councillor Ron Duplessis. Be it resolved that whereas municipal government's infrastructure is critical to our collective economic health, whereas stable, predictable, and formula-based infrastructure funding allows municipal governments to plan and schedule investments in infrastructure, whereas Ontario municipal governments have asset management plans which set out a municipality's longer-term capital plan which reflects the infrastructure priorities of these asset management plans, and whereas a federal incrementality rule interferes with municipal long-term infrastructure priorities and diminishes the value of municipal asset planning and management, now therefore be it resolved, the Corporation of the Town of Westmore will call on the federal government to provide long-term, predictable, and formula-based funding in its Phase 2 program for municipal governments, and be it resolved that the Corporation of the Town of Westmore calls on the federal government to change incremental requirements in Phase 2 to recognize in Ontario that a municipal government's asset management plan meets a municipal incremental infrastructure requirement.
Questions or comments? Councillor Bill.
This resolution is driven by the Association of Municipalities of Ontario Association. And I think it's great that they have worked at this and provided something that makes some sense. And we just need to get some sense out of the federal government. So we should support this. What it does is at least if we've got the items in our asset management plan, we don't have to fiddle around and show that we weren't gonna spend the money on that or some other thing here. It makes it very flexible for us.
Councillor Ron.
Did we not send something like that just recently also to the Ontario government
Yes.
for some long-term planning also? So if we can get all the levels of government on track,
Yeah.
Councillor Bill.
Yeah, the federal gas tax is something you can count on every year. You know you're gonna get that money, and we can plan to do what we wanna do with it. And we're really essentially asking for the same thing right here.
Anyone else? All in favor? Carried. There's no correspondence for information only. This information was previously circulated to council. If required, a copy of the information is available at the municipal office. There's a Roma conference coming up January 29th, 31st, 29th to the 31st, and I plan on attending that. And there's an OGRE conference Sunday, February 26th to Wednesday, March 1st, 2017, and we get to see who's all going to be going to that one. Mayor and councillor reports and announcements. Councillor Bob.
Nothing tonight, your worship, thank you.
All right, Councillor Ron.
there's a couple of things I want to mention. I don't know if a lot of you have been approached by citizens of the community about our streets getting narrowed with all the snow. And I was down at Public Works, and I know we've had a lot of snow this year, so It's been a big job for them, and they've been doing snow removal. Also, with Christmas falling on a weekend, 2 days of the following week became stat holidays, so we only had 2.5 days, because then New Year's fell on a weekend. We lost Friday afternoon and the following Monday. But they have been out there removing snow and all the rest. They try to avoid paying overtime, trying to keep our costs down as long as streets are passable, but some people don't realize how much snow we've had. And I'm sure with today, we've got well in excess of 4 feet of snow, and some of the streets are narrow. We're just past 2 years in our mandate. We've got a big 2 years ahead of us. I know, Bill, I haven't heard anything about the police other than the bad news about the building. I hope we have something before the end of the term. And fire hall is going to be an issue that we really got to deal with, because we know we need a new fire truck within the next 3 years, I believe, and we got to find a way to house it. So it's going to be an issue. I know we had our engineering work started on Highway 6. That's another big issue I know you and I were talking about.
It's done.
It's done, yeah, I know,
Yeah.
that's what I said, but we have that's a big issue, if there's any funding. So I'm hoping, and the sludge removal and all the rest is coming up, but down there, we've had some trials. We have a big 2 years ahead of us, including the budget coming up. Ever mindful, I guess, of the taxpayer, because our federal government's now announced that we're lucky to balance the books by 2051. And we just got a 4-point-some-cent tax on gas and home heating oil and all the energy things with carbon tax. And we've got to go into municipal budgets.
Anyone else? I mean, Stuart? you got
I have
anything?
nothing tonight, thank you.
Ken?
No, thanks.
Bill?
This year, we're planning to do 3 years of budgeting for this next year, and a forecast for the next 2 years. Things are a little bit behind because we had some issues with impact and some of the assessments that they were providing. We have the Social Services Board still hasn't provided us, or as of a couple of days ago, they hadn't provided us with information. So right now, we're targeting to present the overall budget on January 24th, and then after that, go into detailed budget deliberations. That's all I have.
All right. Future council meeting, community services meeting of January 17th, 2017 is at 4 p.m. I thought we changed that time.
No,
No?
no.
Must be something else I was thinking of. And there's a regular meeting of council of January 24th, 2017 at 7:30 p.m. And this meeting is adjourned. All in favor?
When are you doing the presentation, Bill, on the 24th? Council date?
Yeah, that's the council. Izzy will probably put on an overall budget, cover some of the preliminaries, and then we'll follow that up with meetings after.
Okay.
Okay.